Hello everybody, my name is Roger Perez and today I'm making an analysis for an internship report made by the student Nailin Suarez. Let's start with some technical characteristics. We can see that the font, the line spacing, the margins, the academic register and the format style is correct. As well as first person singular, the text is written and this paper is 26 pages. Regarding the cover pages, the letterhead, the report title, there is the student's academic advisor, which is Professor Johnny Palomares, the date and the month of the year. Regarding the phrase informe pasantías and the hoja de identificación, it's not present in the text. I assume that this is due to the fact that this is not a final version, as the professor might have mentioned before, and there is no list of figures and tables or list of appendices. It's possible was not necessary for this report. The table of contents starts with the introduction, host institution, reflection essay, cultural essay, recommendations and conclusions, and references. As a personal view, I see this context well explained, short, simplified. Let's start with the introduction. Nailin talks a little bit that she wanted a challenge and she wanted to work with a project in audiovisual translation. The host institution is called Asociación Civil de Artes Escénicas y Audiovisual Expresión, ICSOIE, and she worked with the projects FICAIC, Festival Internacional Audiovisual Juvenil Infantil, and also she was part of the project Buracam blog, which is an internet blog. Her main activities were being an audiovisual translator, being a content creator, and being a team leader. The relationship between the internship and the professional specialization. Nailin claims that the report is divided into 4 sections. Section 1. We have the host institution, as mentioned before, Asociación Civil Grupo de Artes Escénicas y Audiovisuales Expresión, ICSOIE, which is structured by the CEO, Carlos Céspedes, and specifically in the project FICAI, there is a translation department, executive director, general director, technical department, logistics department, and pedagogical department. In the case of Huracan, there is a management team composed by project manager, managing editor, team leader, heads of writing, and writers. I should mention that finding the structure of the host institution was not smooth at all. I think it could be improved and better presented, so the reader can be illustrated on how is conformed the organization of the host institution. Regarding working conditions, Nailin states that she started as a writer, then she became the head of the team, and at the end she was the team leader. This shows that her work was performed excellently and she could experience a professional growth. In human and material resources, Nailin was in charge of 9 people, 6 writers, and head of teams for 3 others. And the material she was working with was films in English, French, and German, a subtitle editing program, key performance indicators, search engine optimization and copywriting, and articles in a WordPress blog. The tasks performed for Nailin were subtitling 11 films in 21 days, writing articles following digital marketing strategies, approving articles, overseeing teams' work timely, and resolve work issues. Another function was informing the project manager about performance. Competencies and strategies that Nailin applied. Number 1, learning how to use subtitle editing program. Number 2, training with the Buracam staff on search engine optimization and copywriting. And she also gained experience in team leadership. Section 2. There is a reflection essay called Technology and Translation, the Bridge to Audiovisual Translation. Here we can see in the task performed, there were some difficulties and solutions applied. Number 1, ideology. Nailin claims that at the beginning she thought that all she had to do was being accurate, translating sentences from the original to the target language. But all this changed when she started having practices with audiovisual translation. Nailin stated that she did not have the technological competence for specialized software programs. She struggled with the time codes between utterances in the dialogue and subtitles. The time for a subtitle being screened should not be longer than 6 seconds, and the shot changes subtitles should not be maintained over the cuts, according to the rule established. So, how did she manage these situations? Number 1, for the ideology, she simply applied audiovisual translation strategies. Contact the client, watch the video, transcribe the dialogue, spot, translate, correct, simulate, send for checking and approving. This worked well for her, and she also developed technological competence to use the subtitle software, which is in the professional field really necessary when you don't have the competences, you just develop the competences. She learned how to create time codes, and she applied strategies such as elimination, rendering, and condensation for the difficulties of timing. And with the rule established, Nylene expresses that she breaks the rule or broke the rules in that time to have better results. In the achievement, Nylene states that despite facing difficulties regarding technological domain, she develops the competence on that area, and that helped her to expand her knowledge in the translation field. Section 3 is a cultural essay named The Culture of Teleworking in Venezuela. In this case, Nylene is introducing the terminology of teleworking, how this is slow moving in Venezuela, and with this essay she seeks to explain what is teleworking and the technology required, and also how is it the teleworking and its culture working and developing in Venezuela. To kickstart, she goes defining teleworking and technology. She uses the Market Business News from 2020 to give a definition that teleworking is working from home or remotely using modern technology and telecommunications to remain in touch with your employer. Then she mentions that all the devices related to networking components, applications, and systems, as well as video conferencing software that are Skype, Zoom, GoToMeeting, and some others, according to Seymour 2021. Then she talks about digital literacy in remote working, which is claimed to be to represent the person's ability to perform a task effectively in a digital environment. And then she claims that having digital literacy allows you to master hardware and software technology. And what about the hardware access and devices in Venezuelan household? Is stated that the first thing we should know is how much access Venezuelans have to cell phones. According to World Vision 2020, there is at least one cell phone per family. And evaluating digital literacy and technological infrastructure in Venezuela, Nylene talks that despite the technology equipment was provided, people requires to learn how to use it. Not having digital awareness makes people not having digital literacy on software and in the digital world. In conclusion, Nylene talks about it can be said that a large part of Venezuela has access to internet and cell phones. Also, a large part of Venezuelans know how to operate the software systems of these devices, which could indicate that Venezuelans are digitally literate. However, although there are certain signs showing that a large part of the country has the technology and the appropriate digital education to telework, the reality is that there are no concrete sources that prove Venezuela is adopting telecommuting as a culture of working. But what has been found are sources showing that this work culture is advancing very slowly in the country, since at the moment there is not even a law that regulates teleworking. Now we move on to section 4, which starts with the recommendations and conclusion. First, Nylene starts talking about how she could grow as a modern language student, as a professional, how the audiovisual translation became important for her, and how she became aware of software literacy and audiovisual translation. She also learned digital marketing strategy, like copywriting and SEO or SEO, and she got basic knowledge on how to write in the digital world, like blogs and social media. And she learned how to telework and got a vision about the impact of the digital world today in companies and societies. All right, first recommendation. She would like the students of modern languages being aware that it's important to acquire digital literacy, no matter what is what they are student or they are doing. It's important to manage those competences. Number 2, there should be included some workshops about basic tech equipment and communication technology. It's also necessary to inform about the information and communication tools that might be used to telework, since this will warn the intern about the software skills that he or she has to develop in the case of not having it. And at the end, the modern language school and Expression Ixoye should improve their system as institution to create more confident professionals for the digital world. And at the end, we have a range of references, which I consider complete, that indicates that Nylene worked very hard for doing a good internship report, creating the essays, giving the recommendation, talk about her experience. So this is the end of the analysis. Hope you have liked it, and we'll meet in the next session. Thank you very much.